my name is Elizabeth Yuen and welcome to my cozy corner of the internet. As always, my focus is on writing worlds, dreaming big, and making every day magical. Today, we are going to be doing a live stream Write With Me session. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you should definitely keep watching. So we have a few minutes before the live stream is actually supposed to start. I just wanted to make sure my equipment was all set up, and by equipment I mean my mobile phone. I just wanted to make sure it was all set, because what's interesting about these live streams is anytime I go to set it up, it automatically wants to start streaming vertically as opposed to horizontally, which is honestly just such a pain in the butt for me personally, and I'm not a fan. So like anytime I'm doing these live streams, I always have to like set it up like 10 minutes in advance to try and make sure that it's not streaming vertically. Like I really want it to stream horizontally. Like, oh my gosh. And so it's just such a pain in the butt all the time, just trying to make sure that the live stream is all set up correctly. So that's just talking shop. That's just behind the scenes drama. It's fine. It's all good. We're all set up. My phone is set up with the charging cord, everything. Like, we are set. So, okay, let's just go ahead and talk through how this live stream session is going to work. So, this is a 90-minute Pomodoro Write With Me session. So, what we do is we set the timer for 25 minutes. Then we take a 5-minute break to just kind of discuss our progress, our goals, ask questions if you have them. Go ahead, put them in the chat. I'll answer those during the 5-minute break. And then we'll set another timer for 25 minutes, have another 5-minute break, and then we'll push until the end for another 25-minute writing session and wrap up with a 5-minute chit chat at the very, very end. So, yeah, I love these writing sessions, honestly. It keeps me so focused, and I really hope that it's the same for you, honestly. I'm currently working on a romantasy novel right now. Oh, let me show you guys. Isn't my planner so stinking cute? It's from the Daily Grind. I'm absolutely obsessed. So, okay, it is 10:30, so we can officially start the live stream. I'm gonna finish setting up my planner, but I'm working on Project Ember. It's my romantasy novel, and it's something I've been working on for years behind the scenes, and I finally started documenting it, like, I want to say like 3 years ago I started to document it, and now we're finally at the end. We're at the end of, no, we've started Act 3, Draft 3. We just finished Act 2 like a week ago, which is great, and then now we're in Act 3, and it's this wonderful romantasy up until Act 3, and it just turns like horror romantasy, so I'm obsessed. Okay, so let's go ahead and set a timer so that way we can all start working on our projects. So let's write until this timer beeps. that is time. Let's go ahead and set a 5-minute timer so that way we can have a proper break. So how was that for everybody? I managed to get 591 words written / edited. I'm working on chapter 27 of my romance novel. Oh, okay. We have some questions. Okay, how do you handle exposition problems in writing? Okay. So there's a couple of ways you can handle exposition, right? So sometimes, especially in romantasy novels or fantasy novels, you're dealing with a situation where you can always just do an exposition dump in the prologue to kind of just, oh, that's my dog. You can always do like an exposition dump in the prologue, so that way you're setting the reader up, so that way they know what's going on. And that way, like, you can just get all of that out of the way. What I actually like to do is, it depends on the exposition. So whenever I'm dealing with history of my characters, I like to peel it back in layers. Each chapter needs to reveal something new, not only about the world you're building, but also about the characters themselves. So that way it kind of reflects to the reader of the setting is reflecting what you're revealing. So I don't know if that helps, but for example, for my characters, I currently have a situation where the male lead and the female lead both have their own individual traumas, and not everything has been revealed. We're now at chapter 27, and things are finally in full being revealed, but every single chapter until this point has been giving more information to the reader so that way they can put the puzzles together themselves. Also, it's safe to say, like, when you're dealing especially with exposition, like, you can trust your reader to a certain extent. Again, it depends on your world, it depends on, like, the background of your characters, but, like, your readers are going to be smart, they've picked up your book, they're very interested, so you don't have to go paragraphs and paragraphs into exposition when maybe a line or two would work. So that's just my 2 cents on exposition. And that's how I deal with exposition overall, because what you don't want to do, aside from the prologue is okay for exposition dump, but aside from the prologue, you don't want to have exposition dumps throughout your entire story. Yes, I am writing a novel, thank you. Can I play guitar? Yeah, not as well as I would like to. So I actually went to school for English, and I have a music minor, and so one of the things I had to learn was guitar. So I can play a few chords and stuff like that, but it's nothing spectacular. Actually, my dad and my brother are actually, like, really good at guitar, and they do jam sessions whenever they come over, so I always have, you can kind of see the other one. We always have 2 guitars, so that way my brother and my dad can kind of hang out and come and jam. Will you adopt me? No, I'm sorry. But thank you for asking. I'm an engineering student. Teach me how to write long essays. Okay, it depends on the kind of essay that you're writing. So when I was an English major, there were just so many different types of essays, but I mean, you have the 5-paragraph structure. I recommend just expanding on that and going from there. That's my 2 cents on essay writing, truly. That's how I did a lot of my essays in writing for my English degree, honestly, was you just take the basic form of the 5-paragraph essay and you just literally expand on it to cover your needs. Okay, so that is the break, and we're gonna set another timer for 25 minutes. I will see you guys on the flip side. Scout, it's okay. My dog is, like, at the front door, and she's, like, wary. You're okay, baby. Just settle, baby. for 5 minutes to have a nice little break. Okay, so I'm at 1,809 words so far for chapter 27. Editing is going very well for me personally, so that's really good. Yeah, but I'm at this interesting scene where I'm already noticing, like, I want to go back and, like, I'm rewriting everything right now in chapter 27, and then I want to go back, and there's just, like, a lot of dialogue in this chapter, and it's necessary, but I just want to add, like, a little bit more, like, of the scene, like, in terms of, like, the setting, rather than just them talking. There's a bit of action in there, the tension is high, but if I can pull from, chapter 25, that actually sets the scene. And I want to pull more of the description from chapter 25 into chapter 27. So that way it's a little bit smoother. Because right now, again, there's just so much dialogue, which is so important right now. Because I've got all of my villains in one area. They are definitely they're having like a heart-to-heart. Things are being revealed. It's not quite all hope is lost. That comes later. But things are not looking good for my female protagonist at all. Which is how I want it, which is how I like it right now. And you as the reader, me as the writer, you're wondering how she's going to manage to get out of this sticky situation she's currently in, and the villains are trying to coax her essentially off of a ledge. So yeah, it's a lot of dialogue right now, and I definitely want to go back through this chapter and just interlace and interweave just some more of that setting description that I have in chapter 25 for sure. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, but I feel really good about chapter 27 overall. And I like the direction that it's heading in. I wasn't sure how hard chapter 20. I wasn't sure how hard Act 3 was going to be for me to like rewrite and edit. I feel like Act 2 was a little bit stickier for me to get through because I changed so much in Act 2 from drafts 1 and 2, honestly. There were just a lot more details that needed to be worked through in Act 2. And Act 3 so far is going a little bit quicker than Act 2 was. But it's mainly because, like, I really understood, like, my villains' motivations. I'm just diving into them a little bit deeper. And actually, I'm running into the issue. So one of my goals for each of the chapters is to have preferably 3,000 words. This is now sitting at, the total chapter is now sitting at 3,890 words. And I'm probably going to need to, like, cut that back a little bit because I really don't like having super, super long chapters if I can help it. I want them easy to digest for my readers. It's just how I prefer things. But if it's going to be almost 4,000 words, then I think it's acceptable because of where we are at this point in time with chapter 27, honestly. So, we'll see. Because chapter 26 was only 2,229 words. Chapter 25 was 2,990 words. So, I mean, I do have a little bit of wiggle room in terms of this chapter, in terms of making it work. Baby girl, do you want a treat? My dog's, like, staring at me. I'm like, oh, baby, do you want a treat? You want to come over here and snuggle? My dog is a border collie, and she hates the summer. She's got a summer shed going on. It's so hot. I absolutely hate this for her, and I feel so bad. I know. Do you want a treat, baby? Okay, I'm going to set a timer for 25 minutes, but I'm going to go get my dog a treat, and then I'll be right back to wrap up this final writing session with you guys. So, be right back. Baby, do you want to go outside or something? wraps up our writing session for today. So, so I had to let Scout. I let Scout out at the beginning of the writing session because she wanted to go outside and just hang out. And then she realized it was too hot, so I had to let my poor baby girl back inside. Oh, she's asleep right now. She's so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. But when I was writing, I realized that at the 2000 mark, there's this line, and I was like, I have to end the chapter there. So I made the painstaking decision to cut 1,600 words from chapter 27 and paste them into chapter 29 for me to deal with at a later date. And so now, instead of 3,800 some odd words for chapter 27, we're now at 2,124 words, which means that we now have wiggle room for adding in some more of the details that I've kind of wanted to add. So, downside is chapter 27 is not as finished as I was hoping it was going to be, but we're now in a good position to start adding in some more of those finer details of the setting to kind of raise the stakes a little bit, break up the dialogue a little bit better, and make it smoother and a better reading experience, I think, overall. But overall, I'm really, really grateful for the progress that I've made during this writing session, and I hope that this writing session has been productive for you guys as well. Yeah, but like, I was literally, you could see it, and you can go back, you can see it in the recording. I'm like, literally, like, making the decision. I'm like, do I want to? I'm like, oh, but I have to. And sometimes you have to make decisions in your writing that you know are going to pay off in the long run, that you don't necessarily want to make because it means more work up front. But it is what it is, and you just kind of have to roll with it, honestly. But it's really funny because I'm even looking at I have a little, like, whenever I plot my novels out, I usually have, I'll go soon, I usually have the chapter name and then 2 to 3 beats that I need to hit on in that chapter, and I even have in my little 3 beat section, I have the ending the same as what I have it now as opposed to before, because this is a little bit more dramatic and it ends the chapter on, we have really raised the stakes, for sure. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I know in my heart of hearts that this is the right decision. It's just going to be a little bit more work for the rest of today after I log off here. But that is what it is. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, magical day.